I've been getting a lot of questions on how to calculate the pH if we know the concentration of hydrogen ions. This is the formula here. pH equals minus the log of the concentration of hydrogen ions. These brackets here mean the concentration of. So we could replace that with a number, however many moles per liter we have of hydrogen ions. So in this first example, I have the concentration of hydrogen ions being this. What the log is the number a base has to be raised to in order to get that number. So we want to know what number we would have to raise our base 10 to get this answer. Well, we know that because right here we have 10. We're using the same as the log base, 10. And 10 raised to the negative third, I need the negative of that, so I could take 3. The pH of this concentration of hydrogen ions is 3. This only works because the mantissa is 1. But whenever the mantissa of the scientific notation is 1, we can just use the exponent in the scientific notation and take the negative number of that in order to get the pH. So here, the exponent's negative 12. So if I multiplied that by negative 1, I would get 12. So the pH of this one would be 12. The pH, the concentration of this one is negative 10 to the negative 8. So if I multiplied the negative 8 by negative 1, I would get 8. And the pH of this solution would be 8. If I am given a concentration in standard notation, if I know that the concentration is 0.00001 moles per liter, my first step would be to change that to scientific notation. We move the decimal place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to the right, so it would be 1 times 10 to the negative fifth. I can then use that exponent, multiply it by negative 1, and say that the pH of this solution is 5. That works out really well when our mantissa was 1. But often our mantissa is going to be something that's a little more ugly, such as this number here, where we have the concentration of hydrogen ions being equal to 0.000000006.2 moles per liter. And in scientific notation, after I moved my decimal, I'd have 6.2 times 10 to the negative 9th. That would be our mantissa. It's 6.2. So I can't just use the exponent in order to figure out the pH. I'm going to have to use my calculator. In some calculators, such as this one, it's pretty easy. Let me clear that. I would write the things just in the order that it shows up in the formula. I can hit my negative sign first. I can hit log. I then can put in my concentration of hydrogen ions, which was 6.2 times 10 raised to the negative 9. I close my parentheses and hit equal, and that's my pH. My pH is 8.2.076083. For significant figure reasons, we're going to go back to the 8.2 because we originally had 6.2 when we went in here. The pH is 8.2. Let's try that again with this problem. So I'm going to stick it in just like it is in the equation. I can hit my negative sign first. I can hit my log. And then I put in the concentration of hydrogen ions that I have written right here. So that is 9.32 times 10 raised to the -3. Close that off, and my answer is 2.03. Notice that the pH value is going to be within 1 of the exponent. So in this case, 2.03 or 2.0 is within 1 of this number. It is not necessarily at all close to this number, but it's going to be within 1 of the exponent. So the answer here is 2.0 after I accounted for significant figures. The problem is not all calculators can you press the buttons in the same order. For example, if I use the calculator on my Apple phone, if I press the negative sign before putting anything else in, I get a message that says error. If I press the log button before putting anything else in, I get a message that says error. So you have to know your calculator. To do this on an Apple phone that I'm using with the scientific calculator, this is how I would press the buttons in. I would say that for this one, which had 3.6 times 10 to the -9th, I'd put in my 3.6 first, hit times, then I can hit the plus or minus sign and put 9. And then I hit this 10 raised to the x sign. This is the way I'm writing 10 raised to the -9th. I have to do it in the backwards order. I start with this, I end up with a 9, and then I hit the 10 raised to sign. I can then hit equal, and that is all that I've done right here, is write down what the concentration is. After I've got the concentration in there, I can hit the log base 10, and then the last thing I do is the plus or minus sign, which is equivalent to this minus here. So I can do it on my Apple calculator, but the order of buttons that I press is much different than on this particular calculator I was using before. So the pH of that, your answer should be 8.4. You're going to have to play around with whatever calculator you're using to figure out the order of the buttons to press. But that's the hard part, is just figuring out the order of the buttons to press on your calculator. In many calculators, they don't allow you to put either the negative sign or the log sign in before there's a number. So you have to start off by putting the concentration in. That's what the Apple iPhones make us do. If you have any questions, please email me. Bye.